Well, do you ever see a sports car and wonder why you don't see them more often? Is it a terrible driving experience? Are they way too expensive, unreliable, impractical? Well, the Audi TT RS, why do people sleep on these? Let's talk about it. Well, happy Friday and welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. I got a nice little tropical storm going on behind me, so I'm not doing any maintenance related stuff today or letting my mother-in-law drive the C5Z. That video is coming, I promise. Here's how it looks real quick. Today I wanted to talk about a car that I feel does not get nearly the praise it deserves. That is the Audi TT RS. And this is definitely a car I would own. And more specifically, I mean the 2016 to the 2022 RS. There was an 09 to 14 incarnation. Those are fine in their own right. I did a guilty pleasure car video about a month ago on the Crossfire, and I guess you could say this is kind of the same segment. And this might turn into its own little segment once a month maybe if people like these videos. It's kind of nice to talk about cars that aren't just Corvettes that people kind of forget they exist. So let's go all the way back to 1998 when the Audi TT first made an appearance. This thing was the epitome of contemporary, and this was right around Audi was rebuilding in the US, finally getting their footing again, and put this guy out kind of as a flagship car. And at the time, it looked 20 years newer than anything else on the road. Now, I would say the styling was very divisive. You either loved it or you hated it. I personally thought it was really cool. And I remember seeing a convertible one of these with the baseball glove stitching on the seats. If I can find a picture, I'll put it right here. And just thinking how expensive and exotic it looked. And I was like, man, this thing is totally unobtainable. I could never afford anything like this. I was 14. So fast forward to today, 2023, and the Audi has officially killed off the TT altogether. From 2016 till 22, like I said, it was pretty much an entry-level supercar. I say that loosely, depends on how you look at it. There's tons of definitions, but this thing was really freaking cool and is really freaking cool. All right, now let's ping on the looks first. Some would compare it to a baby R8, but you gotta give the TT a street cred. This thing was around 10 years before the R8 even came onto the scene, so let it have its own spotlight. That kind of drives me insane. I love every angle of this car, and I love the color options that Audi gave it. So Corvette team, please take note and just give us a Lambo green already. Oh my God, what is taking so long? Its stance is iconic. The calipers look great on any wheels, and the wheel choices are very systematic and very thought out. They fit the car perfectly. In my opinion, there's no need for an aftermarket wheel for the TT RS. The exhaust outlet is just perfect how it exits the car, and the interior is a perfect blend of contemporary and minimalist and function. And I just eat it up. I love it. Even the very first gen TT, it's just all business but refined and just a really good quality to it, and I really do appreciate it. I have only driven the first gen Audi TT, and it was just a regular TT. I was floored. Very well made car. Now, granted, those were the 2.0 Audi Turbo, which isn't the greatest motor, but for what it was still a lot of fun. Oh, and also the interior on the RS that has the push button start red on the steering wheel. That just screams supercar to me. And I really wish that was something the C18 did with the C8, maybe in the ZR1 trim, who knows. And it really gives it the an all business kind of look on the inside. I dig it. All right, next let's talk about performance. This is not your regular 2.0 four banger. This has the 5-cylinder, which is pretty much the Audi V10 chopped in half. You put a turbo on it, it's a 2.5 deal now. Pretty much 400 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque. It'll move. Now, by 2023 standards, 0 to 60 of 4.3. It's not the quickest car, but it's not slow by any means either. Oh, and it's all-wheel drive, which is great if you live up north or just want to launch amazingly every time off the line. Oh, and a DCT. Yeah, it's got a DCT as well. No torque converter, an actual DCT, which Audi does very well. Let me find you guys a little exhaust clip. Put it right here. See, sounds pretty good. Okay, reliability. It is an Audi after all. Audis aren't known for their longevity, especially in their flagship 2.0. You get about 130,000 miles out of it and it just starts eating itself, if you will. However, every bulletin forum video I've watched on the TT RS with the 5-cylinder has rated it very high as far as reliability. The NHTSA has not issued a single recall on this platform in 7 years. That's crazy. And if you get a new one, it still comes with a warranty, 5 years, 50,000 miles. And again, most everything I've read has praised the reliability of the RS and its build quality as a whole. Okay, so practicality. It has ample storage in the back in the hatch. Entry and egress is outstanding for its segment. Gas mileage is not terrible if that's something you're worried about. You can get almost 30 on the highway if you're not driving it like an asshole all the time, but imagine it would be kind of hard. And from what I've read, the insurance isn't crazy. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, it has a back seat. You heard me right. This little package has a back seat. So if you're in a situation where you have a two-seater sports car, maybe you got a kid on the way, or you have to go down to one car, this is a great compromise car and still keeps you in that almost supercar territory, very unique. Now, I would not recommend the back seat for an adult, any size adult, or for a child or small baby. That's perfect. Okay, so what about pricing? Now, these things brand new in the last few years, they start at about $70,000, which is not cheap. But this is not a desirable car like a C8 Z06. Get one a couple years old, relatively low mileage. You can get one in the mid 50s, which in 2023 money is equivalent to about $20,000 just 5 years ago. Not too bad. But on the flip side, looking on both Auto Trader and Car Gurus, there's not a lot. I feel like the people that have them know what they have and they're holding on to them. So if you can come across one of these, especially a 16 till now, under 40,000 miles, in the 50K range, it's a steal, in my opinion. But like I said, there's not a lot on the market between Auto Trader and Car Gurus. There's something like 55 across the country, not very many. So with that being said, if you're in the market for a sports car that checks every box and you need a back seat, this is probably the perfect fit for you, my personal opinion. Or even just a TT or TTS, that's also a great value. And you can get a regular TT or TTS for nothing. I say nothing, but high 20s, low 30s, low mileage. And if you're tenacious enough, throw a bigger turbo, one of those guys, and make that your performance car. Those are really nice too. We don't get all the goodies of the RS. And RS simply means race sport, if I'm not mistaken, just so you know. And I really wish I had a larger garage with unlimited funds. I would have all these fun cars, but I don't. And I'm more than happy with the few cars I got, so I can't complain. So, anyways, guys, that was a fun little video. And it's just a car. I saw one the other day, and I'm going to do a video on it. I never see the damn things. It was in that light blue with the red calipers. It just looked so good. That'd be a good setup. A C5Z, C8, Audi TT RS, and then some kind of, I'm not a truck guy, but maybe like a Jeep. I do like the new Bronco, but it's kind of, the build quality is concerning to me. If you're a Bronco guy, I apologize, but it just, man, everything, the fit and finish just seems totally not finished, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of it was an afterthought. I'm just talking now, but anyways, yeah. Audi TT RS, awesome car. Highly recommend it if you're in the market. So, all right, I'm gonna go enjoy this storm and hopefully not lose my power so I can edit this video. I'll see you guys in a few days. Mark out.